LEC team is happy because we have different formats in the regions. I think we are serving pretty well to our audience, but also we know there is this appetite, and we want to discuss with the teams, and we want to find some way to move a bit in that direction in order to serve the players. That is our final goal.
So today is the LEC Roadshow, first day actually of the season finals brackets, and we have G2 against MDK facing, but most importantly, I am in the presence of Alberto Guerrero, the current EMEA head of esports, I believe, right? That is your title. Sorry, it's there's a lot of there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, I guess, in the EMEA department. But it's really nice to be with you today, especially in such a grand venue and just such a nice event as well. So yeah, we'll be talking about everything. First of all, I mean, let's talk about Munich, because obviously it's something that a lot of people are interested in. So far, since the new format was introduced last year, especially with the 3 splits in general, we moved down to having only one roadshow a year, and it's something that is very important to people, right? Because you have to take the time to choose the venue and make sure that it's going to be the best for everyone and stuff. So could you tell me, first of all, how did you come to choose Munich for the 2024 LEC Roadshow, and I guess just in general your thoughts about the venue, and are you happy as well with the decision and stuff?
First of all, thank you for the interview and the interest in this event. Munich was in our table even before the pandemic. So now it looks like this is from years ago, but the pandemic was there 2021, even 22, impacting us. And all the conversations we had with the cities at that time were delayed because we stopped to do roadshows. Munich is still one of these cities we started to talk before pandemic. So we are very happy that finally we have this final here, not only for the historical connection with the sports about the city, but also our connection in Germany that we started in Cologne, then we are established in Berlin. Since 2017, if I'm not wrong, we don't have an LEC level tournament in the country, so Munich was an amazing opportunity. I need to mention that the support from the city and the government around and how they have been helping us to do our best possible show has been amazing. So thanks a lot to the city for that.
Yeah. And aside from this, I mean, obviously, as I already mentioned, still, I mean, some people are not the happiest because obviously the LEC is all year in Berlin with the refurbished Riot Arena, and now we're also competing again in Germany with Munich. And even though it's obviously a great city and the venue is very, very nice as well, I've seen it all day yesterday as well. Some people are not really happy about the fact that there's only one roadshow anymore in the LEC yearly competitive season, and also that this year in particular didn't go to another country, because obviously the fandom in the LEC is huge, spans over a lot of regions, obviously, especially with the entrance of Madeline's KCorp, KCorp, etc., etc. So I would just want to directly ask you, is there any chance that someday we could move to another scheduling that will allow for more road shows in the LEC as well?
Definitely not in the short term. This is something that you cannot change from one year to another. But this is we have had some conversations in that direction, because having one big roadshow is helping us in a lot of directions. Remember that for even newcomers to League of Legends, having 2 splits and 2 winners every year, that's something that where you are new in the League of Legends competition, requires some adaptation. Everybody recognizes better the big winner of the year, for example. That's a good thing. On the other side, we have this issue. We have so many good teams coming from different countries, with the fandom established in the country that we want to serve, that it took years for us to go France, Germany, Spain, Turkey, Poland, and all the different countries that are really pushing. So there is some conversations on the table, and let's see if for the next years we can find alternatives that can mitigate that. But we are aware of this, but on the other side I can tell you it's even difficult to do what we are doing after pandemic. We are lucky that again we have concerts and musicians and events everywhere, but that means that venues like these are very difficult to get. So we need to plan in advance that this is something that can happen in the future, but not in the short term.
Yeah. And obviously around that as well, like all of this was centered around the new format that was introduced last year as well. And now we're seeing as well that Global is going to be adapting to this new format of like 3 splits in every region. But this very format, even though it has had some upsides, for example, like the fact that the total amount of hours watched has grown and there's definitely some increase in viewership in some aspects, there's been still a lot of people that are very vocal on social medias criticizing the format for multiple reasons. Some of them call it a bit too monotone because it's like 3 splits with the same format every time, and some other people just think it's too much matches, etc. There's a bunch of different stuff in mind, and I'm sure you've probably read some of it as well online. And now that we're going to be moving to a different format next year for Global with the LCS, LCK, etc., moving to different ways of competing, especially to accommodate for 3 world events. Is it possible as well that we're going to be seeing some of that feedback addressed in the LEC, or are you like more hoping to continue with what's going on right now? Do you feel satisfied with the current LEC format, or do you have also some issues or things that you could fix, I guess?
First of all, I would say that as it should be, the people that that are unhappy are louder.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's good because that allows us to get the feedback. We listen to the player. You know, our motto is we aspire to be the most player-focused company in the world. That includes also esports, as it should be. And we know the appetite, for example, of more best of 3. There are a lot of advantages having more best of 3, even more best of 5. Even for the teams, for competing, for preparing, for the excitement of the show. But we cannot look at this only from those perspectives. That isolated makes total sense. Yeah. We also have a studio that we share with Valorant. We have a calendar. We want also to have a minimum amount of matches between the same teams. And when you combine all of these, literally you end into the conclusion that there is no good way to do that. So there is no receipt that solves everything. So we try to adapt. For the next year, we have small changes that we are going to communicate in detail in the near future. And we are discussing now with the teams how we can play with all the parameters that include the global calendar, the availability of the venue for the roadshow, that also is very difficult to find on the specific place, on the specific dates. And let's see if we can come back with some change in that direction. But we are listening. We know there is the appetite for part of the fans, and as I said, there are other very good things coming from the actual format that you don't read that because it's simply okay, and people are not all the time celebrating the good things.
Yeah, and just also to bring closure to this topic in general, would you say that like Riot is happy with the current format? Like to what extent? I guess if you had to put like a percentage on it or something.
The LEC team is happy because we have different formats in the regions. I think we are serving very well to our audience, but also we know there is this appetite, and we want to discuss with the teams, and we want to find some way to move a bit in that direction in order to serve the players. That is our final goal.
Yeah, and that aside, obviously continuing on to like feedback from the fans and etc. I think you've probably seen as well something that was a bit of a issue towards the start of the split, I believe, is that we've seen some complaints, especially from fan associations, regarding the way the LEC and just Riot Games in general has been facilitating, like having tickets and just overall like presentation of fandoms in general in the LEC. And this is obviously something that is also much more prevalent right now with the entrance of KCorp and KCorp, I would say, because they are such a huge fan base, and they've obviously brought a lot of changes to the LEC in terms of just the overall way everything is seen, I guess, from the public side, and just the hype as well for behind a lot of different matches. And they've expressed that they were kind of not happy, I guess, with some of the stuff that were handled. And I heard as well that some conversations were held behind the stages, and obviously with all these associations, to make sure that this kind of stuff is improved upon and doesn't happen again as well. But do you have anything to say in general to how like the LEC is handling those fan associations, and what do you think could be done better as well in the future?
Yeah, I would say KarmingCorp in LEC has been one of the best things that has happened this year.
Yeah.
Definitely, no doubt about it. I don't know if you had the opportunity to be in the studio in January. They literally change the vibes in the studio.
Yeah.
And very soon, just in days, Giants, G2, Fnatic, all these fandom also react in a positive way and elevate the intensity of how emotional you are connected with the team. So there is a lot of good things coming from this. On the other side, there are other things we were not ready to handle properly. So we need to evolve also with this new situation. The Blue Wall Association is huge, is very demanding. They are big, they can be demanding, so we need to try to serve. And there has been a lot of conversations with KarmingCorp helping us to deal with them, because it's not the same KarmingCorp that the association, as it should be, as it happens in the traditional sports. So we are hopefully doing well in that direction. We need them happy. This is part of the mission of Rioters, of Riot Games, to have the audience happy and to have the fans happy and the players happy, and they are important part of that. And hopefully in 2025 we are going to have a much better feedback from them with all the adjustments and our willingness to connect better with this kind of big groups.
Yeah. Are you able to just share any small plans or anything that stuff that you are planning to do to try and improve those relations as well?
No, now we are in conversations with them, but for sure we are listening, opening channels to get direct feedback from them, explaining also why, trying to explain to them better why we do things and why even we would like to do things in a different way. Yeah. LEC is a big machine, and sometimes you cannot accommodate all the needs of everybody. So a lot of communication will help for sure. We are trying to improve that.
Yeah, makes sense. And obviously, I mean, last year already, or rather this year, the Riot Games Arena was already refurbished and it was increased in size. We've seen a lot of new things being added, especially like for co-streaming, right, and inviting people in the venue and stuff. But also, this is a recurring thing that people have been talking about. And even though the capacity was already increased, some people still feel that it could be too small, especially in the context of the 3 LEC splits being played in the studio and having less roadshows. And also in the context of 2024, we are going to be having the World Swiss stage in the Berlin studio as well, which is another topic. But do you think there's any chance for the LEC someday to either keep on increasing the capacity by maybe like making other changes to the studio, or perhaps even moving to a bigger studio in the future?
Okay, let me share some insights.
Okay.
When we were facing when we wanted to renew the studio, the first thing we did is to look for another studio. Close to the offices, you know, where we are in Berlin is an area with a lot of studios, is a lot of audiovisual productions there. There was no one available. So we needed to do the refurbish of the studio we had. And when you do this, you need to make trade-offs. Yeah. We want more seats, or we want better facilities for the production team. We want better seats, or we want better space for the teams to be prepared and to be ready for the game. We want and we know we were doing something that is not able to serve all the audience we can reach in our World's event. We know that. But we need to think about the 100,000s of players that are watching the show. And in this balance, we try to find a middle point. Yeah. Of course, if we have Worlds, come on, we can put thousands of people watching Worlds. But if we want to use the studio and we think about sustainability and long-term, and look at, it's completely different, but you have seen some examples of big stadiums done for football tournaments in countries, and then you don't have enough content to keep using them. So we need to balance. In this balance, we prioritize the impact on fans, and the most impact is online, and then we will try to find. Of course, we would like to have 5,000 seats there. Yeah. I can tell you, not every February, Berlin, Saturday, 5 p.m., 10 degrees, we're going to put 5,000 people there. On the other hand, you have Worlds, you're going to have 5,000 people every day. So we need to find a balance, and that's what we did. And we take into account not just the fans that can go to Berlin, but also the experience on broadcast that is reaching millions of viewers.
Yeah. And just to finish, because obviously we are going to be running out of time soon, but do you think also this is going to be influenced by the rise of the VCT? Because obviously it's taking more and more space, especially in the calendar, and maybe even to XKO in the future, depending on how the esports scene builds there.
Well, I would say I didn't answer something before that was related to the amount of roadshows. No change on the short term because that requires a lot of time. But this is a conversation we have, how we can connect more with the different fan base we have in the different countries, and not just with the roadshow. That's something that we are thinking about, but there is nothing to share right now. And the last question, sorry, was VCT. VCT is impacting a bit, but not a lot. So we are sharing the studio, but just because we have VCT there, that doesn't mean it is impacting the way we do League of Legends. Of course, we need to share the calendar, and we need to choose who is playing when. We do our best. You can find people happy and happy on both sides, but it's not impacting the way we do LEC. We are just having both them.
Perfect. Well, in any case, Alberto, thank you very much for talking with us today. It was very insightful to hear about all those topics, and hopefully we'll be able to talk again soon. But for now, we will have to enjoy the LEC season finals, right?
Thanks. I hope you enjoy these weekend finals. I think they're going to be the most watched ever. Hopefully this is going to push to have the best season ever. If not, we are going to be very close, so we are very excited for that.
Perfect. Do you have any predictions, by the way? I mean, obviously this is going to be released afterwards, but...
I have reasons, very good reasons to have G2 winning. I have very good reasons to have Fnatic winning, and I have very good reasons to have Mad Lions winning, so I cannot tell you.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's thoughts on it. All right,
okay,
well,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and for viewers, you can always check out our channel, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
I do regularly.